In case you haven't heard the news, Wizards of the Coast is finally going to try and break into the virtual tabletop sphere. Their newest project, D&D Digital, is a sparkling new 3D virtual tabletop with cool models, animations, and even backed by the super powerful Unreal Engine just to make sure everything looks nice and shiny. But D&D Digital isn't the first to offer these things, and it won't be the last. My name is Villainous Foundry. I have thousands of hours DMing on virtual tabletops. And today, I'm going to tell you the 3 major reasons why D&D Digital will fail. Reason number 1 why D&D Digital will fail is the dimension that they're using for it. 3D is an awesome way to capture those video game enthusiasts that have a hard time imagining the game. But the issue with going 3D is that it is very time consuming behind the scenes for the Dungeon Master. This depends on the level of prep the Dungeon Master gives their battle maps, but generally it increases prep time. In an in-person game, a DM could spend an hour coming up with the rooms of a dungeon and then quickly sketch them out in 10 minutes on a dry erase map. In 2D VTTs, you can get away with this as well, the typical native drawing, or you can add an additional hour or so to add all the bells and whistles to the map. Dynamic lighting, walls, doors, actual tables and chairs, scenery, and the like. But you can always substitute these things with crude drawing. Maybe your party came upon a camp that you don't have the time to draw up. Well, this square is a log, circle is a campfire, these are tents, and this is a tree. In 3D, you can't do this on the fly. You either have it prepped or you don't, because there's not an easy and quick way to furnish a scene compared to 2D. This is also a problem in real life games as well. Think about your Dwarven Forge dungeon tiles. Super awesome to play and use, but they limit your dungeons to what shapes and sizes they come in. The solution of this is just use a battle map for those cases that the dungeon tiles don't work. But this doesn't transfer over to the digital tabletop, especially if they continue with only 3D graphics. This also alienates a good portion of their existing fanbase as well. Just go to the D&D subreddit and you'll see tons of awesome tabletops with TVs set in so they can get super immersive animated battle maps, or to traverse a handcrafted dungeon with those lighting features I mentioned earlier. Well, guess what? Those improvements are all but useless because they rely on a 2D map. One that it seems that the Wizard of the Coast are dead set on avoiding. In a perfect world, they would be able to do both. Easily able to switch between a 3D view and a top-down view like one can find on something like Total War. This would require a lot more work, making sure everything works code-wise for the 2 views. More than likely, they'll be sticking to the 3D view. Reason number 2 why, if they keep going down this path, D&D Digital will fail is monetization. Or better yet, how they go about that monetization. While we don't know exactly how they'll monetize D&D Digital, we do know a couple of their goals. First goal is to have recurrent spending like other video games. Second goal is to unlock the potential spending that is in the player side of D&D, as according to their metrics, DMs make up the highest spending percentage of people playing D&D, but they only make up 20% of the player base. So what does that mean for D&D Digital? Well, get ready for a lot of skins, or as the D&D first look showed, painted models. Now, this form of monetization isn't bad at all. It gets us away from having to pay a monthly fee, allows the basic options to be free, and if you want to customize your stuff to be more awesome, you can spend the money to do so, either upgrading to a painted model, or changing the color of the animation of a spell, or your character holding up a skull. The thing that can actually make D&D Digital fail is how they go about presenting these monetization options to us, and not so much the monetization itself. Just like asking you guys to subscribe at the beginning of a video will cause you to tune out or leave, but waiting until you're halfway in will make it so you're more likely to stay. For more monetization examples, you can go to the League of Legends route, where it's all behind skin, or they can go to Apex Legends, Magic the Gathering, Fortnite, and give us season passes. Pay more money to unlock stuff, and you can only unlock more stuff if you play more. As we can see, almost every single multiplayer game is going this route, even Wizards of the Coast's Magic the Gathering Arena, meaning this form of monetization is more than likely to hit D&D Digital. The final reason why D&D Digital is likely to fail is the single focus on D&D. As much as Wizards of the Coast wants you to think D&D is the only tabletop RPG out there are dozens of other tabletop games out there. From the similar Pathfinder to the sci-fi stars without numbers, Cyberpunk to Mutants and Masterminds. There is a system for every single genre that you can think of, And if you go with D&D Digital, you're forever locked into playing just Dungeons & Dragons. Maybe that's fine for some people, but for others, they might want to use those dungeon assets for a non-D&D game, in which case they can't. Compared to Roll20 or Foundry VTT, where you can easily switch between systems and keep all the assets that you owned shared between all of them. Wizards of the Coast has no obligation to also have their VTT run these games. In fact, it would be allowing competition to grow through their own actions, which as a company is a pretty bad thing to do. Which does bring me to the final topic. The one reason why D&D Digital will succeed beyond anything else. The fact that it is Dungeons & Dragons. D&D has become the Kleenex of the tabletop role-playing game genre. Something so ingrained in the minds of millions that everything else is compared to it. This fact is the thing that will cause D&D Digital to succeed in any and all goals they set forward. As the brand awareness of D&D increases from movies, shows, live plays, so too will the people that want to play. Not all of these people will be able to play in person, so they will look to online solutions, and look at that. Wizards of the Coast has an official VTT that they support, funneling away the major player base of Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry VTT, and the like. At the end of the day, what do I think? I think beyond what anyone says, D&D Digital will fill in the D&D VTT niche, and nothing else. Other VTTs will survive by being bastions for other lesser-known systems, or just systems not as brand-heavy as Dungeons & Dragons. They will also can survive in the D&D niche by just adding more options than D&D Digital can offer, going more of the Skyrim route of being able to mod it so completely that Skyrim itself is unrecognizable. At the end of the day, we just have to wait and see what else Wizards of the Coast has in store for us. Until next time.